electron, atom, and all that. These are all, most of them are Greek words, Greek and Latin words. You get what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So once you understand a bit of, if you have a bit of exposure to the Western culture and the Western civilization, I'm not asking you to follow the culture. When I say culture, don't think that wearing pants, shirt, or going to the beach. That's not culture. That's not the culture I'm talking about. I'm talking about their evolution. I mean, their how do I say, their their society and everything. How does because all these naming conventions are coming from. It is their own. It's based on their own society, right? It's based on their own culture. Most of the words most of the scientific words or whatever you're seeing right now, it's all based on what they have, what they have experienced. You get what I'm saying? இப்போ வந்து நம்ம இதெல்லாம் வந்து நம்ம லாங்குவேஜ் படி சில பேர் வைப்போம், நம்ம கல்ச்சர் படி நம்ம லாங்குவேஜ் படி சில பேர்லாம் வைப்போம். பட் ஒரு ஃபாரினருக்கு வந்து அது வந்து கஷ்டமா இருக்கும் because he doesn't know our culture. புரியுதா? We can understand that. We know why exactly they named it that way because there's a cultural influence. Or cultural influence இருக்கிறதுனால we can easily understand. But same goes to that. I mean, same goes in that way. If you read all these things in English, yes, it is hard. But if you try to understand the culture a little bit and then come back and read all these things, it will be much easier. That's how I try to learn, things. And I mean, of course, chemistry. Even today, I don't think I can ever master chemistry. But other things are, mathematics and everything, and make sure that you guys learn mathematics in a more visual way. Try to visualize math. You get what I'm saying? Math is just not a string of formulas and Greek and Latin letters. It is a meaning to each one of those formulas. You get what I'm saying? For example, if I tell square, when you write a square or x square or something like that, why do you call it a square? You get what I'm saying? So x square or a square, when you have the power of 2, they call it a square. You know why they call it a square? Because that square represents the area of a square. You get what I'm saying? So there's a meaning in each formula, like cube. You get what I'm saying? So if you do like area of a square is a into a, right? So anything to the power of 2 is always called a square. Why do they call, for the special number 2, they call it square? They could have just said 8 to the power of 2, right? But they call it square. This is how they get the name. You get what I'm saying? So if you understand, it's like, it's like watching a serial, on TV and everything. So when you know each character, you know what's going to happen next, how things are connected, how they, how the plot is going. You get what I'm saying? And also if you have enough information about the serial, you can also predict what's going to happen in the future episodes, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what all this scientific literature is all about. Whatever you're doing is just already documented thing, repeated experimentation and all that. Okay? And also keep in mind, okay, should I talk more on my job or what else?
You are that is a research.
My research? Yeah. I think it's 4:10 to the park. I think I gotta go. 4:10 to the park.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
But just one more thing. One more thing about knowledge. Knowledge, if you break down knowledge, breaking down is called analysis. Okay, when you break down what exactly knowledge is, knowledge has 2 components. One is the transferable knowledge, where you can, transfer the knowledge from one person to another person. Okay, that is called transferable knowledge. There's another kind of knowledge called tacit knowledge, which means that you can learn only from experience. You get what I'm saying? Now, if I say fire is hot, you never experience fire in your life. You never touch fire in your life. But only when you experience, you'll learn that, you'll get that knowledge. So, when elders say something, that's most likely a tacit knowledge, which cannot be transferred. It looks silly for you guys in the beginning. You'll think like, you know what, these guys don't know. I can see exactly what's going on and everything. But later on in your life, you'll exactly value them. Because that knowledge comes from only experience. It cannot be transferred. You get what I'm saying? Certain things, certain knowledge cannot have a representation. You cannot represent that knowledge in words or in speech or in pictures. You cannot represent that knowledge. It can only be experience. And that's what you have to understand. So when it comes to our Indian culture, when we obey our parents and everything, when you give respect to our parents, it's because of their knowledge and everything, the experience that gives them value, right? Don't you think? They have that knowledge, and that's why they get the respect. They command the respect because they have that experience. When you go to a job, you have to respect your superior because he's more experienced. He has more knowledge compared to, he's been more exposed, right? Similar thing goes here. You get what I'm saying? So I would, advise all of you to, I'm not saying just blindly follow your parents, but at least, give some thought to what they say. Think. I'm not saying don't think. You should be independent. You should have some independent thinking because if you completely depend on parents, you can never survive in the outside world because they will never be all the time with you, right? So whenever they give you some advice, take it into don't take it for granted. Just understand, okay, it may be true, might not be true, but don't completely disregard it. Okay? That's an important piece of advice I would like to share. Thank you.
And one more thing, there